Prayer and Affirmations. For October 2020. From the Edgar Cayce readings. Prayer theme. Here am I, Lord. Use me. Direct me. Not my will but thine, O Lord, be done in and through me. Here am I, Lord, use me. Direct me. Here am I, Lord. Thou knowest my faults, thou knowest my weaknesses. Yet I am thine, and thou would use me as thou seest fit. Let thy will, O God, be done in and through me, in such measures that I may be a channel of blessings to others. For as I forgive, may I be forgiven. As I bless, may I be blessed by thy love and thy presence. Then keep me in the ways, in body, in mind, in spirit, that I should go. Does one understand what the psalmist meant when he said that it is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of a living God? But they that seek, they that knock, they that would have him. The Father God. Yea, they that would seek to know his face, their prayer, yea their activity with their fellow man becomes ever. Here am I, Lord, use me in those channels, in those manners as thou seest that is best for my closer walk with thee. Just how can I carry on my work so as to bring financial security? In the ways as has been indicated, for that ye give, that ye have. And as you give more and more, he that is the life, the hope of the world, the fruits will come. For the silver and the gold, and the cattle upon 1,000 hills are his. As ye in thy service then merit the use, the lending of these to thy activities, ye have thy assurance of material security. Rather grow more and more in that attitude of, Lord, here am I, use me as thou seest fit. Thou knowest the cares, thou knowest the things that make afraid. Cleanse me, that I may be the greater channel of blessings to others in this experience. Supply thou the hand, as thou didst feed the thousands, so keep me, O God, in the right ways. Grow in that, depend upon that, for all of these are only the true way. Then, so live within thine own self, that the consciousness of self replies back. Not that you've got advantage of the other fellow, not that you would become pessimistic, but rather, Lord, here am I, use me. Let my life, my purposes and same, through the power in those influences with which I have worshipped and do worship, bring that ability in me, to choose to do that which is right at all times, irrespective of the cost or expense to myself, mentally or materially. For indeed it is true, that the flesh is often weak, yet the spirit is willing. What are my weak points to be omitted? As has been indicated in the study of that which is in the heart of each that has ever lost the way, self-indulgence. Let thy prayer, thy meditation, ever be. Lord, here am I. Use me, send me, that I may fill that place in the hearts and minds of thy children, that thou hast appointed unto me. Let thy prayer oft be, though in thine own words. Here am I, Lord, seeking to be a channel of help and blessings to others. Use thou me in the way and manner thou seest fit. I acknowledge my weaknesses, but I look for the promised strength in thee to keep me in the way I should go. Do these and keep self, daily, in this attitude, not necessarily in so many words but with this purpose, this desire and then acting that way. Lord, here am I. Use me. Thou knowest my shortcomings. Thou knowest my purposes, my desires. May they ever be in accord with thy will. He hath promised, he is sure, if and when ye call, I will hear, saith the Lord, saith the best, saith the God consciousness within. Have ye called? Or are ye content or satisfied to depend upon others to do thy thinking, others to pass thy judgments, others to direct? For he hath said, ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Then, consecrate thyself. Put on the whole armor of the Lord. Stand before him with that conviction, that sincerity of purpose. Here am I, Lord. Use me. Send me. What you want and what you have may be entirely different. Then change that ye want to be in keeping with that he would have thee do. Not the prayer, Lord, do this, do that, for I am thine. Rather let thy prayer be. Here am I, thy servant, thy handmaid. Use me in the fields of service, in the fields of activity where thou seest, O God, I may be the greater service to my fellow man. Let him that approacheth the throne of service do so in that attitude that may be expressed in this. In thine own words. Here am I. O God. Use thou me in the manner, in the channels, in the ways that I may the better. Through the love thou hast shown me in the gift of the promises in the Christ. Glorify thee before my fellow man. Father, Mother God, here am I. Thy handmaid. Weak, unworthy though I may be, I come seeking divine light, divine guidance, believing thou hearest the prayers of those that would know thy face. Lead thou, O Lord, the way. Let my body, my mind, be in this experience a manifestation of the love thou hast promised to the children of men. Then use my abilities, my purposes, my desires, in the way thou seest, O Lord, these should go. Here am I. Lord. Use me as thou seest where and when I may serve the purpose for which I entered the material experience, in the better way possible. Here am I. Lord. Use me, direct me. Let me be that thou hast purposed for me in this experience. Lord, here am I. Use me in the way thou seest that I may be the greater channel of blessings to those I meet day by day. Let thy prayer be, ever, in relationship to thy activities. Lord, here am I. Use me. Not my will but thine be done, in me, through me. Today. Now. Always. And mean it, and do it, and live it. Father, God. Here am I. Use me. In body, in mind, and spirit. In the way that thou seest that I may be the greater, the better channel in showing and manifesting thy love to the children of men, that the promise may be fulfilled which is made in Jesus, our elder brother, that he may be glorified in the Father as we glorify him in our daily lives. Hear, O God. And answer according to thy purposes in me. Any spiritual advice. Keep that mental attitude which is constructive in its nature. Let thy prayer and meditation be, though, to be sure, in thine own words. Lord, here am I. Thy servant, seeking to know thy way, thy will with me. Use thou my mind, correct my body in such ways and measures that I may fulfill that purpose thou hast with me, here and now. Let me be led by thy will in his name. Let thy prayer ever be. Here am I. O God. Use me, send me, that I may be a channel of blessings to someone today. This attunement brings the awareness of thy relationships, and whether ye give of thyself in the training, in the counsel of those who would use their abilities of voice, or their abilities of writing. Creative forces. These applied in thy experience will bring harmony and the peace that he hath promised. Not as the world giveth peace, but only as he the way, the truth, the immortal, may give to those who love his ways. Lord, here am I. Use thou me in that way and manner that I may be a better channel of service to thee, and for bringing grace and mercy to those I meet day by day. In him ye will find, ye may find, ye do find, the light. Then, let thy prayer oft be. Lord, here am I. Thou knowest me altogether. Thou knowest my purposes, my desires, my hopes. Make them, O God, one with thee, that I, as thy child, may fill that purpose, that place thou hast set for me, not in my way, but in thy way, Lord, keep me. Let that love as he hath shown for thee fill thy consciousness in such measures and manners, that ye may boldly approach the throne within thine own heart and mind, and say, Lord, here am I. Not my will but thine be done. I have naught against any man. I would but that my will be thy will. And no other will satisfy. Listen to that voice, that answer that comes within, and ye will know and realize that this can only be answered in thine own conscience. Let love, peace, harmony, abide with thee always. Let that prayer be ever in thy consciousness as ye meditate. Lord, here am I. I seek thy ways. Lead me as thou would have me go. Not my way, Lord, but thine be done in and through me. Not sacrifice, O God, but love I offer to others, as thou hast shown to me in him the Christ. What part am I going to play in the occult movement? This again depends upon the application, the purposes, the aims, the hopes. Remember that the influence or the stimuli must come from the spiritual truths. Not from tales told, not from merely purely material gains, but from the hope that ye may gain from an attitude of meditation and prayer. As in this, let thy meditation oft be. Lord of the universe, God of our fathers. Here am I. Thy servant. Use me in the way thou hast purposed that I should go, that I may present to thee that glory thou hast shown in thy love, thy mercy to the children of men. Not my way, Lord, but thine be done in and through me, ever. Any advice as to what form of mediumship I should use? Rather this should be, as indicated. Father God. Here am I. Use me, not as I will, but as thou seest is the manner in which I may better serve thy purpose with man. Why can't I keep happy, prosperous thoughts, rather than my mind full of distress? In concentrating on those things that have to do with the mental body, this is a growth just as the practice of any activity. Make more periods of silent meditation, as this, not necessarily these words, but the import of same in thine own words. Father, God, in the Christ thou hast promised to hear the prayer of those that seek to do thy biddings. I claim that promise in Jesus, the Christ. I am thine. Use my mind, my body, in service as thou seest fit. And in every call, may I answer here am I. Lord, use me. Suggest daily affirmation in making myself a better channel. Lord, here am I, seeking to know thy way with me, and the manner in which I may minister to those of my fellow men, in such a way, and in such measures, that they may know thou art mindful of all who seek thy face. Keep the way open that I may be used as a blessing to many. Let thy prayer be, though, to be sure, in thy own words. Here am I. O Lord. Use thou me in the ways and manners as thou seest fit, that I, thy servant, may be a greater channel of blessings to others. I trust in thy promises, through Jesus, the Christ, for health, joy and happiness. What then, is the standard? Others, Lord, not myself but others, that the glory of the Father may be manifested in the earth, and as the day of the Lord approaches that many may be ready and willing to answer. Here am I. Use me. Here am I. Use me. When fear of the future occurs, or fear of the past, or fear of what others will say, put all such away with this prayer. Not merely by mouth, not merely by thought, but in body, in mind and in soul say, here am I. Lord. Thine. Keep me in the way thou would have me go, rather than in that I might choose. Let thy light so shine, day by day, that ye fail not in that standard thou hast set to thyself. Do not expect others to measure all at once. For, thou art high indeed in thy ideals. Do not lessen them, but let thy prayer be daily. Lord, here am I. Thy servant, seeking to be a greater expression of thee among my fellow men. Show me the way, O Lord. Help me to be humble, yet glorify thee. What should he do now to further develop his psychic power? Is he making progress in this development? If not, how can he? Making progress in keeping in the way as has been given, entering into the silence with that injunction. Here am I. Use me. Fear not. Wait in. Don't dive in. Meet the conditions and be ever ready, as was with those of old. Here am I. Use me. Let thy prayer be, ever, as was his in that day he was called. Here am I. Lord. Use me, send me.